Communications in the life of a local church really is rocket science. It's hard to do. It's not simply throwing some status updates on Facebook, maybe a tweet every now and then, and creating some grainy videos in the kids' room, because that's all you have to work with. It is rocket science not because of the content as much as it is the form in which it's presented. We live in an age where people respond to forms. They respond to certain types of videos, certain types of Facebook posts, certain types of tweets. They have almost an internal barometer for whether something is messaging quality, thoughtfulness about the details, personal narcissism on the part of the leader. There are all sorts of things that are messaged through the way we write a status update, through the way we create a video, what we capture, the way we capture images and photography for our church. And many pastors that I know think less in terms of the details and what they are messaging than they do the content. So their fixation is on, are we saying the right things? And the real fixation should also be on, are we saying the right things in the right way? Are we connecting with people? It's that old idea that if you choose to present a gift in a way that someone doesn't want to unwrap it, then they won't unwrap the gift, no matter how special it is. It's the difference between simply putting the food out on a table and putting the food out on a table nicely seasoned, presented in such a way that it's drawing you in, that it's tantalizing, it's making you want to try it and dip into it. And that's what communications are about in a local church. Everything messages. This is the thing that pastors and leaders and those who do comms for their local church need to get a hold of. Everything messages, not just what you say, but the way you say it. Not just what you video, but the way you videoed it. Not just what you take a picture of, but how you took a picture of it, how you presented it, the story that came with it. This is a day where people's eyes and ears are filled with white noise. Everything is blasting at them at the same level on Facebook, and we often don't pause to read something or look at something unless it connects with us, unless it moves us in some way. And of course, the science of these things tells us that those connection points happen within less than a second for each one of us. So we can ride on certain things like community. People will read what we write and they'll see what we put up because they have a sense of tribe. They're part of our team. They want us to succeed. They want to share things that actually make them look like they're saying something that they really believe. So when a church gives someone a quote graphic that is just generic or something that the pastor just really wanted to say, it may not be something that the person in the congregation says, wow, that's something I'd like to say too, or I would like to represent how I view something. So we're always thinking about that person who is on the other side. What are we giving them to share? What are we giving them that makes all of us succeed, that communicates a kingdom message, but also gets out images of our church that make them feel like they're part of a great community, a growing community that cares for the details. I do know this, for not only certain age groups, but for certain ilks of people, if they see something that's low quality in constant images on a website or low quality in Facebook, and I'll define what I mean by lo-fi and hi-fi, because lo-fi can be very cool. But if they're always seeing certain types of things, it's messaging to them. It's messaging to them the age of the church, the age of the leaders of that church, how that church cares for details and recognizes the importance of the visual connection in our generation. So the 20-somethings, 30-somethings, 40-somethings, even 50-somethings, we're used to a certain visual palette that we want to connect with and makes us feel like we're reading details, the story of the church, through the way an image is done. If an image created by a professional photographer looks stock, that communicates something. Wow, they're describing stock images for their website. If an image in the congregation, a picture taken that's posted on Facebook, is done by a professional photographer, so it's kind of a near focus and the background starts to blur. It feels slightly cinematic. It feels really quality, but it's capturing real life and it doesn't feel like plastic people. It feels like it's real, like it's not just staged, it's life in action. That's going to connect with people in a powerful visual way. Rather than, you can do some great phone image taking, picture taking with iPhones and Androids, but unless someone knows what they're doing, lighting, which is a huge factor in great photography, all those things will create a certain feel to those images. And while they can be useful, they may not be the ones that you want to lead with to story and narrate and used as a verb, message who your church is. And this generation just reads those things intuitively. And when they see a video, as they click the video, there's this moment that they're either going to continue watching or they're not. I would encourage you in your videos, make those introductions extremely short. Make them 3 seconds to 5 seconds long max. If you're going to end up at 8 seconds, you're stretching it, but if you want your logo to appear in a nice way, that's fine. But make the music so that it attracts the people that you would like to connect with that message. And then when you make the video, make it short and sweet. 2 minutes is plenty for people. If you can't summarize it, telescope down that message into 2 minutes, then call it a 15-minute teaching. Call it something else, but when you're putting it on Facebook, I'd encourage you, look for those 2-minute moments where a big idea was delivered, and then wrap the video up pretty succinctly and quickly. When you're doing imagery, I encourage you, find professional photographers and use some examples provided and say, these are the kinds of shots we're looking for, and then make sure you have appropriate permissions and get shots of your congregation's life in action. Use those well-taken, well-edited shots on your websites. Editing for a photographer is a big deal. They can make a kind of weak moment picture pop and really look great and feel like it's vibrant and full of life and not plastic or staged. Make it feel like it's a connecting story with someone. Images really do speak 1,000 words. When you're writing Facebook posts, I would encourage pastors to learn a little something from the Facebook social media marketing world. If all your posts are about you and what you think and how you're feeling about things and that message you just really need to communicate to people, honestly, it can come off narcissistic. It can come off like you're very self-absorbed and focused on yourself. Just a slight turn, making it more a quote that others might want to share. An idea that you're communicating in this little post is your real life, but ends with a punchline that everyone can relate to and may say, you know what, he just said the way I feel about this. Those are the things that make something shareable. You're not thinking about what you want to say. You're thinking about what they want to share. That's how we think about Facebook media, about even tweets. What does someone resonate with? What would they like to be their posture? If they could have written it, if they could have said it, what would they have loved to have said? And that's a great way to think about your social media. I want to encourage you to look at some social media scheduler for Twitter particularly that might be Hootsuite or another technology. You can actually create posts and schedule them even a year ahead if you want, so that every single day a tweet is going out that captures some quote, some idea that matters in your church life. And with taking, a day of investment in getting those quotes together, in getting them plugged into Hootsuite and scheduled, you can have months and months and months, or even a year of tweets going out ahead that still feel real. And then every once in a while, you can inject into those spontaneous moments. Moments that are capturing life in action at your church, so it doesn't feel like it's not human. Make sure you inject those ideas. We call it river content, which is the constantly flowing river that's going out all the time. And then we call it splash content, where you just inject something and it moves someone, it connects with them just for a moment, that this is a real human being behind these tweets. I wouldn't use schedulers for Facebook because I think Facebook has some algorithms that then diminish their reach. Every once in a while, if you have a post on Facebook that you really feel needs to get out there, I encourage you to use the $5 boost, a $10 boost. It will send it out to those who like your page, but then also all of their friends as well. And you can get a lot of traction. If you're seeing that a particular post is getting some traction and it's connecting with people and many people are sharing it, I'd encourage you to boost that post. Then it reaches even farther and it's already shown you it has some connection with people. That helps people to connect not only with the quote itself, but also to come back to your page and like your page because they like the kind of thing that's coming from your world. So in video, keep it short and sweet. Keep it clear and do great quality. Lighting is everything in video. There's some great tutorials you can use for doing great video in your local church. When it comes to Facebook posts, again, you're not thinking about what you want to say only. You're thinking about what you want to say that they might want to share. And then when it comes to Twitter, I'd encourage you to use Hootsuite or some other technology as a scheduler, as river content. Get that going so it's always going out, and then splash every now and then just to show that it's human what's going on behind the scenes. So those are just a few ideas related to social media and the communications and the messaging of your church.